Hey, welcome. Come in, say hi, put your name in the comments. Welcoming you back to week 3 of the relationship reboot. And we will get started promptly. Grab yourself some tea. I'd love to see your comments. I'd love to say hello. I'd love to see what you're excited about, even so far that you've experienced with the exercises in the challenge. So for those of you brave souls that are still with us in week 3, it means that you are doing the work. You're doing the journaling, you're going inside, you're taking personal responsibility, and you will heal this, my dear. I promise you that. If you're taking this attitude, you will heal. Hello there, Cornelia. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Penny Love. Welcome. And, I just love getting comments and thumbs up and hearts and things like that. So anytime you're feeling good about what we're doing here, let me know. It's most fun when we are interacting with each other, yeah? So I definitely need a little bit of a tea boost. I am drinking an oolong tea this morning. So just wait another few minutes. Cornelia, hello, lovely. Hello. Who else do we have here? Hello, Maya. Hello, lovely. Welcome. So interesting that we have ladies from the Powerfully Feminine Sisterhood on. You know why? Because they're the ones that are making it work, and they know that they have to lean in and be in sisterhood as an important part of our transformation together. So I seriously appreciate you turning up, and we are here for each other, okay? So that's important to know. Oh, Cheryl, hello, beauty. Cheryl says, hello all, I've got my tea and my journal, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, right on. Amaya, hello. All right, you know what? We are going to dive in, and I will check in with you throughout. Kelly, hello. Woohoo, she says, yeah, let's do it. Let's reboot this thing together. Okay, beautiful. Let us dive on in, therefore. All right, so welcome to week 3 of your relationship reboot. Now, in today's lesson, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the information and knowledge from a wonderful book called Moving On, and it's by Russell Friedman and John W. James. And I do highly encourage you to go out and get that book and follow through in great detail their methodology. But I have additional methodology here that we're adding to the process. So let's do this here together today. Now, I am sure that you've tried many ways to deal with your past relationships. And along the way, you may have very well acquired a lot of understanding, intellectual and analytical about yourself. You may even be able to explain in great detail why your relationships failed. But you need to understand that this intellectual knowledge is of limited value. Now, at the end of relationships, we're left with unrealized hopes, dreams, and expectations. And at the end of relationships, there are always things we wish had been different, better, or more. Now, I want us to start here together today by writing down those 6 key words: hopes, dreams, expectations, different, better, and more. Now, added together, these 6 words are the key to unlocking the puzzle that will lead you to completion. Now, you might be thinking at this stage, why would I want to release hopes and dreams? Well, I'll tell you why. We as women enter a relationship with a man that we either in our own head or in discussions with him. Let me say that again. When we as women enter relationships with a man, we either in our own head or in conversations and discussions with him think about the future, right? Now it's important. Sometimes it's in our head and sometimes it's in discussions with him. You dream about where you'll live, where you'll travel to, building a future together, a family, kids, holidays, houses, friends. A lot gets planned and it feels fantastic in the early phases. You also idealize him. You fit him into your picture of him and you believe that he is the one. But then what happens? Progressively, the man isn't living up to your expectations. He's not fitting into this vision of how you saw him and you. He's not turning up for you. He's not keeping his promises. Or he's running hot and cold or even ghosting you if you're dating. Now you keep trying to keep this beautiful vision on track, but sooner or later, what was a beautiful dream is crumbling at the edges and turning into something more like a bad soap opera, or in bad cases, the dream is becoming a nightmare. So what happens inside of us? We still want this vision of our life to be real, to be true. In fact, we want it so badly that we ignore signs that tell us otherwise. We ignore our instincts, our boundaries, and clear and present red flags that this man isn't good for us, the person for us, and our investment in time and energy with him is better divested of. Now, one thing that women do, partly because of our limited childbearing time, is that it becomes harder and harder for us to divest of our investment in a man and a relationship as time goes on. As in, the more time we invest, the harder it is for us to divest or want to end or get out of the relationship. And by the way, even beyond childbearing years, women still have this sense of time running out. And it causes this same investment response, even if we're not seeking to have children with this man because we have our own children or we don't want children. Now, I remember when I was in the corporate world and learning about how to hire great staff and team members. And I remember this concept about the process of hiring people. And they'd say, hire slowly, fire fast. And it's the opposite of what most of us do when entering a relationship. We hire fast and fire slowly. But we're not actually here to talk about dating today or how to date effectively. We're here to undo what we're still holding on to from the past relationships in order that we can let go, free up space inside of us, in order that we can create a tabula rasa experience. Now, the definition of tabula rasa from the Merriam-Webster dictionary is tabula rasa, the mind in its hypothetical primary blank or empty state before receiving outside impressions, or something existing in its pristine state. And indeed, this is what we're wanting to be the outcome of your relationship reboot. Now, in order for this to happen, what we're going to be doing today is 1, discover hopes and dreams that you're still holding on to. And 2, you're going to release old hopes and dreams from past relationships. And 3, forgive. Now, a breakup is like a death to us inside. In fact, it is the death of the relationship, and we need to process it just like a death, an ending. The thing is, in relationships, the ending is rarely pleasant. Nearing the end, there are more harsh and hurtful arguments, and we say and do things that make the possibility of repair difficult. And then it ends up with a lot left unsaid, unexpressed, and unfinished. So, let's start our exercises together today. So let's get out the list that we wrote down last week, and we're going to work on these relationships, taking them one at a time. Now, you may choose to do all of them after the recording, or only write down a few of the key ones that feel loud and important to you. So you're going to choose one of the men on your list and continue to journal from where you left off with your narrative memories about him and you from last week, from our last lesson. And we're going to continue to add to the narrative by reflecting on yourself in relationship to the 6 key words: hopes, dreams, expectations, different, better, and more. Next, you're going to take an in-depth look at this relationship with an eye to discovering the things you wish had been different, better, or more, as well as the unrealized hopes, dreams, and expectations about the future. So let's start now. In a minute, you're going to write down a few short sentences about each event from your initial narrative and how you felt about it, either positively or negatively. Include in this list the things you wish had been different, better, or more, as well as the unrealized hopes, dreams, and expectations about your future together. Now, as per usual, I suggest being alone and quiet and lighting a candle whilst you do these exercises. And so let's begin. Start by closing your eyes and going inside. And you're going to think of one of these men. One of these relationships. And let's have a full length of breath in and up to the top of the head, and out and down, all the way down to the very, very base of the body. And in and up to the top of the head, and out and down to the base of the body. And as you're doing this, you're feeling deeply and honestly into yourself. And start by feeling this man. Saying his name out loud. And then you're going to open your eyes and you're going to start to journal, asking this question: what were your hopes, dreams, and expectations with him? Start writing down now. And the next question. What would you like to have been different, better, or more with him? Now, if you need more time, please feel free to pause the recording and turn it back on when you're ready. I really want you to take time. I really want you to take time, go deep, and be thorough with your journaling, with your inner digging with these exercises. So next, you're going to look at your own honest reactions to what you've written down. You want to be as honest as possible about the things that you did or didn't do in the relationship. Now, I want to be clear that taking responsibility for your reactions or non-reactions to what happened is the absolute key to completion. It requires a lot more discipline to look at yourself than to stop complaining, resenting, or externalizing it onto the man. So I encourage you to dig deep, to be real and honest with yourself. And then next, write down your deep and honest reactions to what happened in the relationship. Your side, your responses inwardly and outwardly. You're going to use what you've written down already to prompt you. And I'll say that again. You're going to write down your deep and honest reactions to what happened in the relationship. Your side, your responses, inwardly and outwardly. Now, once again, if you need more time, please pause the recording now and turn it back on when you're ready. Now, this is the time when I'd like you to take a moment to read through what you've written so far. Add anything that comes to your mind. You want to be really thorough and complete. A thorough soul searching, a being honest, a being real. Take as long as you need to do this and pause the recording for however long you need. Let's take a moment to read over the notes that you've written so far. Excuse me. I'm going to do a brief check-in. Hey, Sarah, Helena, Hind, Cheryl, Sarah, Milena, Tanya, beautiful. Cheryl makes a good point. As raw and as honest as this work is, I'm happy that I'm approaching it without blaming myself for my mistakes and choices. Important distinction. Taking responsibility for your side of something is not about blaming yourself or coming down hard on yourself. Very important distinction. And yet, by taking responsibility, we heal. All right, to the final phase of our exercises together today. It's time to let go of him and forgive. Before we do this exercise, you need to remember that forgiveness is an action, not an emotion. Forgiveness also doesn't mean that you condone anyone's actions or behavior. Successful recovery requires completion of the pain and letting go of the resentment. You are the one who suffers when you don't forgive. Now, put your journal down in front of you and again, close your eyes. And this is the moment you really need to let emotions move inside you. Let yourself grieve if you need to. Let yourself feel anger, frustration if you need to. It's all good. Let it move inside you in order that it can move and flow out of you. And take a breath. Full breath in and full breath out. Full breath in. Full breath out. It's time to forgive him. It's time to forgive yourself, as you are the greatest beneficiary of your forgiveness. Now, if you're feeling emotions, then I want you to offer this relationship into the flow of your own tears. And either way, let them flow into a river in front of you. We've done all this hard work to get to this moment. You've climbed to the top of a mountain. You are up at the source of the river. Now, symbolically, you'll cast what you've written down into the river, into the flow of the water, the movement, the letting go, the emotions, the hopes, dreams, expectations, the desires for more, for better. You're going to cast them into the river and let it be washed away into the flow. Let it go. Let him go. And what you're going to say whilst you're watching these things go into the flow of the river are two things. I acknowledge the things that you did or did not do that hurt me, and I'm not going to let them hurt me anymore. I acknowledge the things that you did or did not do that hurt me, and I'm not going to let them hurt me anymore. And again, let any emotions come up, and let those also flow into the downward flow of the river from the top of the mountain. And then you're going to say, I need to forgive you so I can be free. I need to forgive you so I can be free. Keep breathing. Now, once again, I encourage you to pause the recording if you need more time to complete this part of the exercise. This is your time, this is your space in which you get to empty out things inside you that have been in the way of you being able to attract the great masculine man of your dreams. So take your time. Okay, so welcome back, my dear, and well done. Big congratulations from me to you. I know what it takes to do that, as I have done this myself. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of vulnerability to do what you have been doing in the relationship reboot. So you have now climbed to the top of the mountain, which is the hardest part, and you've been looking down into the valley as this relationship and your forgiveness have drifted far away downstream. Now, next week, we are going to conclude by creating inner and outer space for the new. So in today and in review, what you have done is you've discovered hopes and dreams that you've been holding on to. You have started to release these old hopes and dreams from the past relationships, and you have forgiven. Oh. Now, what I want you to understand is that the process that you have just gone to, what I want you to understand is the process that you have just gone through will continue to reverberate inside you over the coming hours and days. Let the reverberations happen. Let things come up in the manner of letting them come up and flow through you. As an old mentor of mine used to say, let the wind flow through you like wind through a windsock. So I encourage you to post your comments, your experiences here. And great job from me to you. And I will see you in next week's video in the Relationship Reboot, where you'll get to create inner and outer space for the new. Now I'll just stay on a sec to see if you have any comments and experiences. And I'm aware that you're going to need more time to do some of these exercises today. Thirsty work, this recovering and completion stuff, isn't it? Okay, Maya. Beautiful practice, Candice. Thank you. I feel much softer. Oh, yeah, of course. Beautiful, lovely. Yeah. So important, because we get hardened by the things we hold on to. We get hardened by resentment. Yeah. Ulrika. Yes. Good question. Shall we do this process with each relationship? As I said at the beginning, yes, you take each relationship and you do it one at a time, but only do the ones that really stand out as being important, loud experiences internally for you. Ninong, I find that forgiving myself is more difficult than forgiving him. Absolutely, and as we said, forgiveness is an action, not an emotion. So, choosing to forgive, as you've gone through the process, assuming, Ninong, you've gone through these exercises, you are actually seeing your part, you're seeing his part, you're not condoning anybody's behavior, anybody's omissions, anybody's bad behavior or non-reaction or reactions. You're just acknowledging them. And that process in and of itself is starting and unraveling and unfurling inside of you, okay? So forgiveness is the action of doing the exercises as much as anything else. Kelly, wow, this felt so intense. I didn't realize I still had so much I was holding on within me. It really helped to admit the hopes and dreams and wanting more. I loved releasing it from the mountain into the river. Thank you so much. Ah, of course, Kelly. My pleasure, my pleasure. Beautiful process, hey? Milena, beautiful practice. Thank you. Ulrika, thank you. Okay, well, let's finishing up. Oops. All right, so let's finish up here for today. Please re-listen to this. Pause the recording as you need to. Be thorough. This is for you. As I said before, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is a concept that's really not so much about the other person or about you. It's the action of forgiveness that releases things from inside you. You are the greatest beneficiary of this process, of this forgiveness. It's not about walking up to him and saying you forgive them. This is about you and your relationship to yourself. Okay, much love from my heart to yours. Big kiss, and I will see you back here next week for the final session of the Relationship Reboot. Much love from me to you, and bye-bye for now.